Are you feeling a lot of fear about your bladder prolapse, your cystocele? If you are, I get it, don't worry, I've been there and you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Jenny, and in this video I'm going to be sharing how I healed a cystocele naturally and how our client Callie healed a grade 3 cystocele without surgery in our program. You really want to make sure you watch to the end because I'm going to be sharing one of the first techniques we teach in our Unshakable You program, and it's one of the many techniques that Callie used to heal her cystocele naturally. This is the work my husband Duncan and I do, and if you'd like us to be part of your prolapse healing journey, click the link below in the description or type masterclass into the comments below, and I'll send you a link to book a spot on our free masterclass where I'll walk you through the 4 steps we use in our Unshakable You program to help women heal prolapses naturally. Okay, so let's get into the first thing you need to know. If you think about a bladder prolapse, or its other name is cystocele, think about how a prolapse feels. It feels heavy, it feels loose, it feels unsupported, it feels like the most vulnerable part of you could exit your body at any time. It's a big, huge, uncomfortable bulge. You feel stuck. Now, whenever you have a physical issue such as a prolapse, there is always an emotional issue at root. Often the prolapse has been created via a physical issue such as childbirth or the menopause or a car accident, for example, but the emotional issue is always dominant at root. And if you think about how your prolapse feels, and then you think about how you were feeling perhaps several years or several decades before you got your prolapse, you can get hold of the idea that this prolapse has been a long time coming. Think about another issue that's often related to bladder prolapse, which is urinary tract infections, okay? So they feel hot and angry and burning, right? If you've ever had a UTI, you know how awful it feels. You can't get your mind off it, and it feels hot, burning, and angry. Now, often, if you think about a prolapse and urinary tract infections, they go together, and many women with bladder prolapses have been experiencing UTIs and yeast infections all of their lives. And this really describes the emotional pattern which gets a prolapse going in the first place. And it's a pattern from a feeling of feeling stuck in life, from feeling unsupported, from feeling like you have to do everything, from a lot of fear, and then up to a feeling of rage, revenge, or anger, or feeling resentment. And that might show up as resentment towards your kids, that you can't get the things done that you need to get done. It might show up as resentment towards your significant other, or your boss, or your business, or anything. But if I guarantee that if you have a prolapse, you've had those feelings for months, if not years, if not decades, before the prolapse actually manifested in your physical body. Now, if I take our client Callie, who recently healed not only a grade 3 cystocele, a bladder prolapse, but also a grade 2 rectocele, so when the rectum pushes into the vaginal canal. When she joined our program, you know, she had been brutally raped at age 16. She had never received any counseling or any therapy about this. The perpetrator was never ever convicted, so he's still wandering around to this day. So when Callie came into our program, she had a lot of allergies. She couldn't be around dogs without having a huge reaction. She had rituals that she'd created after that awful incident when she was 16 years old. So she had this feeling that if she didn't clean the house or wash the floors when she first got up, something bad would happen. She was living in a fearful, anxious state. She was constantly worrying about what people thought about her all the time. She had a lot of conflict with her family. She was being judged all over the place because she was somebody who does things a little bit differently. You know, she wanted to homeschool her kids and she was receiving a lot of criticism from her family. She was doing hyperpressives every single morning diligently because maybe like you and me, she's an A-type personality. She was doing everything she could to heal her prolapses. She just hadn't got any results. She'd had to give up her job as a nurse because she was in too much pain being on her feet all day long. And her relationship with her partner was almost at breaking point, in her words. Whenever he walked into the room, she felt a huge amount of rage. There wasn't a lot of intimacy. And essentially, she'd had these patterns, these emotional patterns, raging in her life through no fault of her own, okay? Not her fault. Nobody had ever taught her how to deal with this. But she'd had these patterns going on for years. So then it's no surprise that the most vulnerable part of her body literally fell out. So step one, which is something Callie had to do, is to really accept that these emotions didn't start the second you got the bladder prolapse. Because a lot of people will say, well, yes, now I've got the prolapse, Jenny, now I feel sad, now I feel angry, now I feel discouraged, now I'm raging, now I feel this lack of support. But I never felt them before, I was really happy before. And I'm never gonna say to somebody that can't be true. Okay, that's not me. If that's what you believe to be true, then that's your truth. But when you sit down and you think about it and you think, really, did I have zero anxiety before this prolapse? Was I never afraid that I was going to be attacked when I was out walking the dogs alone? Or was I never afraid when I was out running before this prolapse that somebody might jump out and get me? Did I never have any fears about my children? Did I never ever catastrophic fantasize about things happening in the world or things happening to me? More often than not, when you have a prolapse, I'm not saying every person, and you sit down and you really think about this, you can see that this emotional pattern has been dominant for years. And just like Callie, when you slowly, over time, authentically, you can't do it, overnight, change this pattern, just like Callie, your body will heal. So when Callie went to the urogynecologist just last week, he was absolutely floored. He got her standing up, squatting, bearing down. He assessed her in every single position because he literally could not believe that there was zero prolapses. So we're not talking about just being a little bit asymptomatic here. He literally said the integrity of her vaginal walls are amazing. They're plump. There's not a prolapse in sight. He said, I don't know what the heck you have been doing, but keep doing it. So I really want to give you a little bit of hope today and say, if Callie can do it, if I can do it, if other women in our program can do it, if you can shift an emotional pattern, you can heal your body, friends. So one of the first processes Callie learned in our Unshakable You program, and I have adapted this emotional scale with thanks from the amazing Esther Hicks. So a lot of people think, understandably, when I heal my prolapses, then I'll be really happy. Okay, then I'll live my life, then I'll be able to go on walks, then I'll be able to lift again, and then life will be great again. Now, unfortunately, when you want to manifest something, you have to become the frequency of the thing you want to manifest. Now, what do I mean by that? You have to radiate the emotion, and if you look on the screen right now, you'll see that it's at the level of contentment. You have to feel that emotion, you have to become that emotion 50% of the time so that you can no longer be a match to something going wrong in your body. Now, what does that look like real time? That means that you've got to take all the areas in your life that you're worrying about, and there will be many, trust me, from relationships to your kids, to your body, not just your prolapse, but also potentially your body image and your weight, stuff you've been worrying about for years, your family issues, your childhood traumas. You have to take all of that. I know it seems like a big job. And you have to shift the frequency, the emotions in all of those areas, often from a set point of either fear and insecurity or rage and anger, up to a feeling of contentment 50% of the time. So I'm going to say that again. You've got to take all these challenging areas of your life and you've got to shift the emotional set point on them to a feeling of contentment, or acceptance is another good word, 50% of the time, and then your body will heal. Now you're probably thinking, how on earth am I going to do that? Well, we've got the tools. And please remember to type masterclass in the comments below or click the link in the description to join my free masterclass, where I will show you exactly how we do this. So it's a 1-hour masterclass and I'll walk you through how we actually do this in our program. Okay, so this is the first process Callie started in our Unshakable You program. And what you're going to do, if you look at the screen, is you're going to make a statement at every single emotional level on this emotional scale. Now, you're not looking to feel euphoric or joyful or happy. You're just looking to feel a little bit of relief, a slight shift. Okay, so manifesting, creating a new reality, is about feeling a little bit better moment to moment, which over time creates a brand new vibration, a brand new way of looking at the world, a brand new set of beliefs and thoughts and emotions. Okay, so I'm going to walk you up the emotional scale with an example. So in fear, you could say, I feel so fearful and depressed and out of control with this bladder prolapse, or whatever prolapse you have. I feel really insecure that this is never going to get better. I'm so jealous of all those women on the planet walking around right now, not having this constant problem in their mind. And I hate this. I hate the feeling of it. I hate feeling it move. I hate the bulge. It's like having a rock in my shoe. I just can't get my mind off it. I hate the constant attention to this challenge in my life. Now, revenge, a better word could be resentment, okay? So I feel so resentful that this happened to me. It's not fair. Why me? That's the feeling of revenge. I'm so angry. I've got to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. I just want to get on and enjoy my life. I'm so discouraged that this is ever going to get better, because when I'm in these Facebook groups or when I'm talking to other people, it's just doom and gloom everywhere from a physical perspective. I blame myself. I blame a whole bunch of other people. I'm constantly blaming my significant other because I just feel so terrible. I'm really worried about this. I'm worried about this all the time. I'm worried I'm not present at work. I'm worried I'm not present with my significant other. I'm worried I'm not present with my kids. I'm worried I'm missing out on my life. I'm just doubting everything right now. You know, I'm even doubting you right now, Jenny. Disappointment. Oh, I'm so disappointed that this happened to me. I'm so disappointed that I spent so many potentially years, months worried about this. I'm so disappointed that this, you know, if this happened to you postpartum, that this was part of my postpartum journey. I am overwhelmed by all of it. I'm overwhelmed by all of the things everyone tells you have to do, from the pelvic floor physical therapy to the gut cleanses to the metal cleanses, and I could go on and on and on and on. I'm just impatient to heal. I'm pessimistic I can do this. And now here is the tipping point. This is the emotion of boredom, but this is a feeling of, I am so done, I gotta let this go. And once you start to let it go, remember, you're not letting go of your dreams of healing, you're letting go of the resistance, the negativity. I just wanna let this go. Now we've got quite a jump to contentment. Now you have to find a contenting, authentic, peaceful, acceptance is another great word here, phrase that you truly believe. You can't just make something up. You can't say, feel how this feels, in fact. I'm contented. I'm gonna heal this. In our program, when people are brand new, and understandably they'll make statements like that because they're brand new, they're new to the work, and the group, the amazing group in our Unshakable You program, they are so supportive. But I can literally watch when somebody makes a statement like that and they don't believe it yet. The whole group just sort of goes, no. Right, you've got to say something that you feel. So try this one on. It's contenting to know that this is more than a physical issue, because if it's just a physical issue, what are you going to do? How are you going to heal those ligaments? How are you going to fix that fascia? How are you going to rearrange your skeletal system? How are you going to suck those organs back up, right? They send you to, those kinds of thoughts send you to a spiral. But if you say to yourself, it's contenting, I accept that there's more to this than a physical issue, that makes sense to me, that there is an emotional component to this, and there was always an emotional component to this. Then you could even say, I feel hopeful that other women, Callie, myself, once stood where I'm standing and they figured it out, they healed. That brings me hope, okay? I'm optimistic that I can learn more about this. I'm optimistic there's an opportunity in here for me. Now here's your positive expectation statement. I know, like I know, like I know that this prolapse is an opportunity in my life. Some people might say it was brought to me for a reason. And the reason you might think that, or the reason you might say that, is because at some level you understand that this is something you cannot diet your way out of. You can't exercise your way out of. You've tried all the things, they haven't worked, right? All you have left is consciousness. All you have left is your emotions. This is potentially the only area you haven't explored. Have you explored quantum physics? Have you explored the connection between emotions and your cells and your fascia and your tissue and your ligaments and your bones? Probably not. So you could say, I know there's something to this. My intuition, my gut tells me there's something to this. And you could say, I'm eager to learn more. Feel that energy flow. That's feeling better, right? Things are less stuck. That would make sense that things in your body would heal from that place rather than, this is all over, I'm powerless, right? Things can't heal from that place. Passion. Now you could say, I am one of the most, this is you, I am one of the most passionate people on the planet right now about figuring this out. To the degree that you've worried about something, you are a really passionate person about this topic, right? And then at the top, say something authentic. Say, you know what, I feel really empowered by this new knowledge. Now take a moment, close your eyes. You took a journey with me. You took a journey from fear to appreciation on an emotional scale, and you did it authentically with me. You felt it, right? You felt the relief. That is how you rainbow bridge. That is how you authentically, over time, change your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions, because it is about moment to moment tuning, which leads to many more moments, and many moments leads to new beliefs. This is why positive affirmations, forcing yourself to go from negative to positive, or trying to just shake emotions out of your body and go from feeling depressed to suddenly feeling joyful, that does not work, okay? Let yourself off the hook. If you've been trying to do that and you couldn't do that, it's because it doesn't work. Not when you have an attention-grabbing reality like a prolapse. If you're someone who's really enjoying your life and you have zero problems, never met anyone like that, but let's say a fictitious person, maybe a young person, a really young person, of course you can switch to the positive very easily. But if you've been bashing around on what I like to call the Wild West of planet Earth for a couple of decades, you can't do that, okay? It does not work. So that is the emotional scale process. Use it in any area of your life. Only use it when you feel negative emotions. So if you woke up feeling good, you wouldn't want to do that process and start working on your prolapse and take yourself down the scale. So use it moment to moment, or if you're out and about in the day and you don't have a notebook to write it down, say it in your head, or do it when you get back home. But you can do it on any topic at any time, and it's the first process we teach in our Unshakable You program. Now, I want to end with a really happy story. So you know that Callie fully healed her grade 3 cystocele, her bladder prolapse, and her grade 2 rectocele. But a lot more happened. So her dog allergy completely disappeared, and I mean completely disappeared, because in our program you don't just heal a prolapse, right? Everything in your body heals over time as you vibrate at a higher frequency, as you feel better. She was really inspired to get 2 amazing dogs who are the absolute love of her life. She now runs a dog walking business. So several days a week, she walks about 6 hours a day, 0 symptoms in her pelvic floor, and she loves her life. I mean, you will see her on social saying, I can't believe this is my life. You know, she's gone from feeling worn out, discouraged, disappointed by life, to feeling inspired, energized, and really excited about life again. She's homeschooling her kids several days a week without worrying about judgment from others, and her relationship with her partner is thriving. She fell back in love with him by using the protocols in our program. They have great intimacy now, and for me, one of the most important things that happened to her, she actually came face to face with the perpetrator, with the person who raped her when she was young, a victim at the time, and she said she felt 0 fear. And yeah, that actually makes me a little bit emotional sharing that right now, because, you know, to know that she changed that so significantly in her life, and she can walk around now on planet Earth feeling safe and secure, which is what we teach in our program. Well, that's why I do what I do. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next time. And remember to join that masterclass. It will be me, and I can't wait to see you there. Until next time.